Hello, everyone. It's Greg Harrelson here, and I just wanted to start off this morning talking about negotiations and also tell you a little bit about a situation I had coaching one of my real estate agents this weekend. As a matter of fact, I had an agent that was representing a buyer or is representing a buyer and wrote an offer on a very large listing, $2.7 million listing. And negotiations were going a little bit rough. And so the agent decided to give me a call and see if I could step in and just help him out. Of course, I didn't do any of handle any of the conversations with the buyer or seller, but I was coaching him through the negotiations. And I just wanted to share something that I shared with him that I think is very, very important. And that is the importance of giving your client time and giving yourself time. So like if you make an offer and the buyer, or let's say you're representing a buyer and you make that offer and the seller makes a counter offer and you already know that the counter offer is not nearly as strong as you were hoping for, or maybe your buyer was hoping for. So you kind of have an idea that it's highly likely that your buyer is going to reject the counter offer. And then you're also questioning whether or not they're going to get a little bit, I guess, emotional and maybe just go ahead and kill the deal. Well, that's where we were. And the seller had made a counter offer to my agent, to the buyer. And the counteroffer wasn't that strong at all. As a matter of fact, if we just went and called the buyer real quick and submitted the counteroffer, highly likely they were going to reject it. So what we did instead is we took that counteroffer and we sent it to the buyer via an email. Then we texted the buyer and said, I just sent you some details on the counter offer from the seller. I'm tied up for the next hour and a half to 2 hours. So just bear with me. I'm going to give you a call very shortly. And I thought of a few options that I want to share with you when we talk. So I'll call you in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Talk to you soon. So we sent the details of the counter offer. We then text them, let them know we'll call them in an hour and a half to 2 hours. And here's the reason why. I wanted to give the buyer some time. We could give the buyer some time. And here's what I know about time. It takes time from the buyer to go from a reactive state of mind and transition to a responsive state of mind. So I know as soon as they see it, they're gonna be like, oh, that's not acceptable. We just need to go ahead and look at another property. We don't have to buy this one, no big deal. In other words, they'll react in a negative way. They'll just say, oh, forget about it, let's move on. But if I give them a little bit of time, they'll go through that stage of reactive mindset, that reactive state of mind. But then what they'll do is like, somebody will end up saying, I wonder if we really do like this home. That pool is wonderful. The oceanfront view is really wonderful. I wonder what Greg has to say. I wonder what options he's talking about. Now, all of a sudden, they're starting to think, hey, wait, let's not be so reactive. Let's wait to hear what Greg has to say, or let's wait to hear our options. It's a very effective strategy for making sure that when you're presenting something that you think your client is not going to jump for joy on, it's a way of presenting something to keep them from emotionally reacting and killing the deal before the deal is really dead, or really needs to die, I should say. So just too often, we're losing deals because the agent is reacting and the buyer or seller is reacting, depending on who you're negotiating with. So the tip is this: buy time, because it takes time to get them from a reactive state of mind to a responsive state of mind. Send them an email with detail, text them immediately, telling them that you sent them that email and that you'll be with them in an hour and a half to 2 hours. And by the way, I have a few options. After looking at it, I have a few options I want to discuss with you. That'll move them to a more logical state of mind. I hope that tip helps. You go out there, if you got any negotiations, use this strategy when you feel like they're not going to respond well in the beginning to the offer that you're actually presenting them. Again, use this strategy, and please give me some feedback on how this works. I hope that helps. Bye-bye.